The air crackled with anticipation. A palpable tension hung heavy over the arena, stifling the breath in every spectator's chest. In one corner stood young Ilhu, a figure of raw, untamed power, his eyes burning with a cold, predatory intensity. Opposite him stood Dohyuk, a picture of stoic resolve, his face betraying nothing of the maelstrom raging within. This was a battle of titans, a clash of wills destined to shake the very foundations of their world. The silence stretched, a taut string about to snap, holding the promise of a storm about to break. The crowd held its breath. Every eye was glued to the two figures in the center, their bodies taut with anticipation. The world seemed to shrink, all of existence distilled into this singular, impending confrontation. The very air thrummed with the unspoken question, who would emerge victorious from this crucible of fate? The first move came with the explosive suddenness of a lightning strike. Young Ilhu launched himself forward, a human projectile propelled by raw, animalistic fury. His fist, a blur to the untrained eye, slammed towards Dohyuk with the force of a battering ram. The air itself seemed to crackle and groan under the sheer ferocity of the blow. It was an attack designed not merely to defeat, but to utterly obliterate.
I will crush you, Dohyuk.
Dohyuk, however, was ready. He met the onslaught with a calmness that belied the deadly intent behind it. His feet moved with the effortless grace of a seasoned dancer, his body a whisper of motion as he slipped out of the path of the blow. The fist whistled past him, ruffling his hair but leaving him untouched. It was the beginning of a deadly dance, a ballet of violence with life and death hanging in the balance. Young Ilhu pressed his attack relentlessly. Each blow was a thunderbolt, a testament to years of honed skill and raw power.
You can't dodge forever, Dohyuk.
Yet, Dohyuk met each attack with an almost preternatural calm. He moved like a phantom, his steps measured and precise, always just out of reach of the devastating blows. It was a display of pure defensive mastery, a testament to the years of grueling training that had honed his reflexes to razor sharpness.
I need to find an opening. I can't just keep dodging.
But defense alone could not win this battle. As Dohyuk continued his evasive maneuvers, a grim realization began to dawn on him. He could not simply weather this storm. He needed to find a way to turn the tide, to seize the initiative and strike back.
Roaring in frustration.
Young Ilhu roared in frustration, his attacks growing wilder, more desperate. He had expected a swift and brutal victory, a demonstration of his overwhelming might. Instead, he found himself locked in a frustrating stalemate, his every blow anticipated and evaded. His opponent, whom he had considered beneath him, was proving to be a far more formidable challenge than he had anticipated.
And Dohyuk, in the midst of this whirlwind of violence, began to grasp a fundamental truth about the nature of martial arts. It was not simply about brute strength or speed, but about understanding, about adapting to your opponent's rhythm and finding the flaws in their defenses. It was about strategy and cunning, about using your opponent's strength against them.
Dohyuk dug deep, drawing upon a well of resilience he hadn't known he possessed. He had to push past his limits, surpass his perceived boundaries, to overcome the seemingly insurmountable challenge before him. The weight of every spectator's gaze, the echo of every clang of metal faded into background noise. His world narrowed, focused solely on the dance of death unfolding within the arena.
The memory of my training, the countless hours spent honing my body and mind, surged through me. I recalled the words of my masters, their lessons echoing in my mind, guiding my movements, sharpening my focus. With each breath, with each parry, I felt a new sense of clarity, a steely determination solidifying within me.
Then it clicked. A subtle shift in Young Ilhu's stance, a fleeting moment of vulnerability that had previously gone unnoticed. This was it. The opening Dohyuk had been waiting for, the chance to seize control of the fight. A new resolve hardened his gaze, a newfound confidence surged through his veins.
I had learned, adapted, and now I would innovate. Drawing on my understanding of my opponent's fighting style and my own newfound insight, I began to formulate a counterattack, a move unlike anything I had attempted before. It was a risky maneuver, demanding perfect timing and execution, but it held the promise of turning the tide of the battle.
Gathering his strength, Doyuk prepared to unleash his counterattack. The arena seemed to hold its breath, the air thick with anticipation. Even young Ilhu, blinded by his own fury, seemed to sense the shift in momentum, a flicker of unease momentarily breaking through his rage.
This is it.
The culmination of all his training, all his struggle, all his determination. With a roar that echoed through the arena, Doyuk struck.
No! In shock and disbelief.
To be continued.